spot on. And everyone having that feeling of, I don't want to talk about trauma at work. I'm not qualified for this. You're right. And that's exactly what I want you to do. And that's where I think trauma-informed workplaces, trauma-informed cultures can be confusing or tricky, is that we are not clinical psychologists. We are not individuals who are trained and credentialed to diagnose or treat trauma. So we never do that at work. If there is one thing to keep in mind is you are never seeking to diagnose or treat trauma on your team. And even if you are, credentialed to do it, you wouldn't do it because it's a conflict of interest to have that relationship. You have that connection. So first and foremost, know that you are not here to diagnose and treat trauma. You have plenty on your plate as a leader already. We're not adding that. The concept of trauma-informed workplaces and trauma-informed cultures really is derived from a concept created by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration about 30 years ago called trauma-informed care. And that was an idea that anyone that's helping support individuals, and specifically when it was created, individuals who are experiencing substance abuse treatment, and understanding of some basics of trauma and how we can support individuals. And so there are 4 things we want to do as leaders in an environment that seeks to be trauma informed. We want to be informed. We want to know what that definition of trauma is and have a little bit of understanding of, if someone's interaction with us, someone's reaction to something was a little bit odd, especially for them, hey, maybe this is something bigger versus jumping to. I know sometimes in leadership, we can jump to a conclusion. Oh, someone's not ready. Someone's, going to quit, all of those things. It's that informed that sometimes trauma shows up in interesting places and interesting ways, and to take that step back, to take a beat. The next is awareness. Awareness to the prevalence of trauma. That 70% statistic, you're checking off the box of awareness. You understand that trauma really is pervasive in our environment, and it is showing up for individuals in different ways. And then the next 2 things are the things that really require you to take a little bit of action, or to at least be thoughtful as you're interacting with your teams and as you're leading in your organization. The first is you want to make sure you're avoiding re-traumatization. We want to be conscious and understanding and look to actively avoid re-traumatizing someone. So actively pulling away some of that bad behavior that could pop up, and then also maybe, temper our responses or our interactions. And if there's only one thing you remember of these 4 rules, it's this last one: actively minimizing harm. So as a leader, being thoughtful about how you're actively minimizing harm for your team members, for your organization, for your other stakeholder is a key aspect of trauma-informed workplaces. Hopefully this is a relief to hear that these are the 4 things versus, having to diagnose and treat trauma. Really, it's about being aware, informed, and then taking action to avoid re-traumatization and minimizing harm to your team, which even if you haven't experienced trauma, even if you're one of those lucky individuals, all of those things still benefit you within an organization.